Today, we are going to expose DoorDash acceptance rates for what they are. Are you a Dasher who maintains a high acceptance rate, or do you really just don't care what your AR is? This has been a debate for years, and I don't think, honestly, we'll ever settle it because here's the truth. You can make money having both high and low. It's a personal preference, right? But we tend to get passionate, to say the least, when we truly believe in something, and equally as passionate when it comes to the money we make. But every Dasher has a different mindset, and depending on what it is, it's what you believe in with acceptance rates. Now, I've been doing this for a while now, over 6 years to be exact, and over 16,000 deliveries, and I've done both. I've gone down as low as 0%, and I've gone as high as 100%. But which one is better? Does it even matter in the whole grand scheme of DoorDash? Well, today we are going to go over what it means to have a low acceptance rate, what it means to have a high acceptance rate, and does it actually really even matter? Stick around because I'm sure you will want to weigh in on this debate and which side you lie on, because everyone is here on DoorDash just to make money. Before we even begin, I have a question. What is your current acceptance rate? This right here is mine. Now, I personally have maintained platinum for well over a year, and I did an experiment, a couple of weeks ago, even maybe a couple months ago, and I went below platinum levels just to see how it works for me and my market. That's the thing about all of this. Most of what we are going to talk about today is totally market specific, and the results are always going to vary depending on where you're at. For example, I have an oversaturated market. I have to schedule if I am not platinum. I was talking to another Dasher this past week in a different part of the country, and they didn't even need an acceptance rate because they had enough orders to pick through and they didn't have to schedule. But DoorDash has made this so complicated to even work the platform and holds acceptance rate over Dashers' heads with their tier programs. Another question for you. Do you think there should ever even be a thing called acceptance rates? Because we are independent contractors, right? Technically, acceptance rates shouldn't even be a thing. It's DoorDash's way of controlling Dashers and orders getting delivered. That's their goal, and that is the true reality. Let's talk about low acceptance rates first. The best part is you can take whatever order that you want. You can decline until your little heart is content and wait for that very perfect order. And you can set your own standards, right? You can set your own parameters, dollar per mile. I don't want to take anything under $5 because you don't have to worry about it. There is no stress unless you consider waiting for an order stress. That could possibly be a little stressful. But what are some of the cons of doing this? Well, you have to schedule depending on your market. It could be difficult. Mine, it was when I went down in AR. It wasn't always available, and it limited me the time that I spent on the app and then essentially the money that I made. And I ended up during the week I did this not making close to what I would normally make as a person who does have a high acceptance rate. At least those were my findings. Let's talk order volume. Order volume, in my opinion, once again, depending on your market, for me, it is considerably lower when you keep falling down the slope, so to speak. You will wait during slow times. When I have a higher acceptance rate, I hit the ground running and I consistently get orders even during slow times. When I went under and I kept going down, it was like crickets during the slowest times of the day. So here's another reality about me having a low acceptance rate. You see a lot more upside down orders, $2 orders, orders that you will always decline because they really are that bad. But here is the thing with a low acceptance rate. You still see some of the larger orders that a person with a higher acceptance rate actually sees. To me, there really isn't a difference in getting larger orders. They still come to your phone. You still make money on DoorDash, in my opinion, no matter what tier or what acceptance rate you're at. Maybe that's just me. So, what is your opinion about a lower acceptance rate? Did I miss anything that is a true reality? So let's talk, what does it mean to have a high acceptance rate on DoorDash? Well, the best perk, you can dash now, you can work whenever you want, no schedules required, you just hit dash now and you start making money. The order volume, in my opinion, is way better than having a lower acceptance rate. Like I said previous in the video, it could be one of the slowest moments and you're still going to get orders. It might not be the best orders, but you're still going to get an order. You also get, we're going to use this term loosely, high priority for large orders, shopping, and large order catering. So the earning potential is definitely there. Is it consistent? No. So what are the cons? You have to take orders in order to maintain a high acceptance rate. It could be hard as heck. It could be frustrating as heck, because ultimately you are going to take orders that you do not want to take or you normally would take in order to get the perks of being a platinum dasher. Will you take crap orders at some point? Yes, it is inevitable. That is the downside of all of this. But for me, I know how to work the program. I know how to make it work for me. And when I did this experiment a couple of weeks ago, for me, it was more money to maintain a high acceptance rate than not. But that's how it works in my own market. How does it work in your market? You're going to have to let me know. So what's my take? You can make money either way. It just really depends on your market. It depends on what you believe as a dasher. And not only that, but it's two different mentalities, right? Do you? Who cares what other people think, because you're the one that's going out and making the money. If I was doing this part-time, I don't know whether I would be in any tier or maintaining a high acceptance rate, because I don't know whether it's worth it. That's another thing. You have to outweigh, when you're maintaining a high acceptance rate, is the reward worth the aggravation and the risk behind it? In my case it is, but in your case it might not be. In my opinion, the only thing the platinum tier is good for, or maintaining high acceptance rate, is dash now and order volume. If you want to see orders come in more quickly, then you have to put in the work behind it, unfortunately, and you will have to take crap orders at some point. You will see big orders on all levels. It's not just the highest tier that you see these big orders. You can see them even at the very bottom. As for me, as a full-time driver, I need Dash Now because of my market, which I talked about earlier, which goes back to every market is different. So what do you think? Do you believe in high acceptance rates, or do you believe in, I just really don't care about acceptance rate altogether? Either way, as long as you're going out and making money, that's all that really boils down to and all that really matters. Speaking of all these different tiers, I just did a video on DoorDash ratings, because obviously you need your ratings in order to get into some of these tiers. Well, you're going to want to check this one out for all the full details, and I'll see you over there.